exciting episode of the Asheville Food Fans Podcast. Oh, wait, I just saw the broadcast live button. Let me start over again. Hey, everybody, it's me, Stu Helm, the food fan, here at Food Fan Headquarters with another exciting episode of the Food Fans Podcast in Asheville, North Carolina. We're hosted by WPVM 103.7, the voice of the mountains here in Western North Carolina. And as always, I have my co-host, the world's greatest eater, Rick Trillia. Hey, Rick, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, brother.
Nice to see you. And with us, we have our producer, Davine Dial. Hi, Davine. How are you tonight?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Keep the show on track. Keep me from going off the rails.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees. You guys, I tried to line up a guest for us. I had our friend Bruce Waller all lined up from Grind AVL. And then I forgot that we record at a different time and he couldn't make it to the earlier time. And I tried to get Crystal Salinas from last week and she was unavailable too. She's doing some important research, it sounded like. So it's just me and you and Davine this week, Rick. And therefore, get ready for a big extended where'd you eat, what'd you cook section this time, because it's my favorite section.
There you go. Let's roll it.
All right. Well, I like to start with the wing thing. This show was born out of a smaller podcast called the Asheville Wing Thing. Rick and I talked exclusively about chicken wings on that podcast, but on this one we expanded to food, but we still start with chicken wings every week. And Rick, I ate some chicken wings this week.
Let's hear about them, my friend.
Well, did you eat any chicken wings?
I did eat chicken wings.
And Davine, did you? She shakes her head no.
No, I did not. And I know I'm not supposed to shake my head. I'm supposed to be speaking here because I got lectured before about just shaking my head. But,
shaking and nodding, not just you.
And
but
I
Rick
also have been very bad that I didn't eat any wings this week. I'm just a total failure.
That's okay. Now. You're not a failure. I have failed week after week on the wing thing, and we accept that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever had a week where nobody ate wings, though. Have we ever had one of those?
I don't think so.
I don't have a wing report this week. Okay.
Well, you can sit out while me and Rick talk about wings. Now, Rick, where'd you go? What kind of wings did you get? Tell me all about them.
I got wings from Del Vecchio's again.
Again?
Because Del Vecchio's is my cheat for my carb stuff because I love their Sicilian pie right now.
Okay.
Like I'm all about it. So, and their wings are solid, and I got no complaints. So.
Got no complaints. He's got nothing to hide. He's got no regrets.
Nope.
And Del Vecchio's traditional buffalo style wing.
Traditional. Well, no, they're more breaded, and they have they're almost like a General Tso's chicken style.
Okay, so a little sweet,
a little hot,
spicy.
They're maybe even hotter than regular buffalo wings.
Okay.
More of a deeper hot, like all the way down hot instead of just mouth hot.
So burn your whole trachea.
Fantastic. And then I think you and I next week, hopefully, we're gonna have some wings. We'll have to we
got to solidify those plans.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks in a row you've gone to Del Vecchio's. Can we safely call those your favorite wings, or is that not something you're willing to say?
Because they're riding on the coattails of the Sicilian pie. They are great wings.
Yeah.
I would say they're in my top 5 non-traditional wings.
Okay. And I have really missed the Deli Llama food truck wing thing Thursdays. Yeah, I haven't tried their Taco Thursday or whatever.
They had Calypso fish tacos today, and I wanted to go get those, but hopefully my new work schedule will help me with that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Rick got a new job. Everybody, congratulations, Rick. He's a high-paid tech guru.
Not really, but yeah.
Have a job. He has a job that's so complicated, and that's for smart people that I don't even understand.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. They keep paying.
But you get paid, and that's the important part.
Yeah.
Well, I ate some wings too, Rick, and I went someplace special. I went to a pop-up, and I got some wings that were cooked by Chef Silver Kausler. And Dawn and I are friends with Silver. We met her when we met them when they worked at Buxton Hall Barbecue. And they have gone on to do a lot of different pop-ups, working at Ganshan Station for a little while. And they are going to open their own brick and mortar. They said hopefully in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. That's right around the corner. But in the meantime, they were doing a pop-up at the Double Crown. And they had wings with crudité. And they had a big, like, smoker grill type of thing going. A lot of smoke coming out of that thing. And did you see the pictures of the wings I put on Facebook, Rick?
I think I've seen wings, but I thought it was someplace else. But go ahead.
Okay, well, I think that if you had seen the pictures, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw those pictures."
Oh wait, Silver. Okay, yes, I did. Yes,
yeah.
I did.
So they were very good. Let me just cut to the chase. They were awesome. Some of the best wings I've had during this whole wing thing that we've been doing. The smoke on them was fantastic. Of course, being fresh off the outdoor cooker like that makes a big difference, you know. And they had a beautiful char on bits and pieces of them, cooked just right, very nice flavor. They were fantastic. So when Silver opens up their restaurant for real, and I heard it's going in the Mothlight, which the Mothlight closed during COVID.
Yes, sadly so, but that's awesome news if that's true.
That's what I'm hearing, that has not been confirmed I haven't confirmed that with my own eyeballs on text or whatever, but that's what I'm hearing from people, so I'm excited about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so the fantastic wing experience for me, but unfortunately, such is the nature of pop-ups, I can recommend them to people, but they will not be able to get them.
The pop-up conundrum.
It is, man, because some pop-ups last for a week, and I'm a person who recommends food to people. That's like what I do. And so like a pop-up that is here and gone, it's like, well, next time. And then the next time that person, you got to get on them, man. You got to hop on the pop-ups. So don't delay. When you see a pop-up and you think it looks good, get on. Yeah. All right, Rick. Well, that was a successful wing thing. Both of us had wings. You're doubling down on this Del Vecchio stuff. Oh, Davine is back. Hey, Davine, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I could get some lighting on my face.
There you go.
I
You
could
look
go
great.
change the lighting.
You look fantastic. You're by far the most person on the podcast. Everybody completely silent. Davine just smiling, blushing.
Well, thank you. Thank you
taking
very
a drink of water. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
That was also an insult to me and Rick at the same time.
Yeah, to you.
Yeah. Well, you're the second most attractive person on the show, Rick. Definitely.
Well, frankly,
don't be implicating me in your.
Yeah, we all three look fabulous.
Self-effacing humor.
Yeah, I agree. All three of us look fabulous. Let me just back out of this conversation right now.
And for those of you not watching this, Stu just did a backstroke in his
I did.
production studio.
So the next section is my favorite section, Rick, and that's the Where'd You Eat, What'd You Cook section. And I gave us a little extra time to do it this week because last week it got cut off kind of short. And I do like to give it a lot of attention because I think it's the basis of the show. I think the show revolves around this segment of the show. And so I'll say what I cooked. And then, Rick, you can go ahead and say what you cooked. And then we'll go back. And Davine, if you cook something special, chime in with that. And then we'll go back to Where'd You Eat. So I only really cooked one thing this week. And that was, well, I cooked some egg sandwiches and stuff like that. But who cares? And then I cooked a steak that was delicious last night. And I specifically bought it because a chef came over my house and dropped off his whole line of spices. They're called Chef Squared Spices by Chef Alex Bax, and he owns a food truck called Feta Flav. And he dropped off Yeah, really funny name. And there's got to be at least 20 spices in his line of spice like mixes. And so there's one that was called they all have these cute pun names that are actually kind of difficult for me to say, not because they're hard to pronounce, just because they're so cringy. But this one was called the mist steak, the mistake spice. See what I mean here? Like, they're clever, and I'll give them props. His wife came up with all the names, but they have super clever, cheesy names. And so I used the the mistakes on a steak, and I cooked it the way my mom, and I overdid it. Like, I was just like, oh, come on, get this stuff on there. So I really put it on there. It was great. I've learned not to really skimp on herb rubs, because what are you keeping them around for? You know, they do go bad. So just use them, you know? And so, I just used the hell out of it on this steak, and then I cooked it the way my mom taught me, which is you just put it in a hot frying pan with some butter, and you forget about it for 4 minutes, and you try hard not to touch it, because it's like the longest 4 minutes of your life while this steak cooks itself to death in the bottom of the frying pan.
Yes, I know where this is going. And then you do it again.
And then you turn it over and you do it again. And if your steak is about that thick, you do it 4 minutes each side to have it medium rare, and 3 minutes each side to have it rare. So I did mine 3 minutes, kept it nice and rare, and let it sit for a bit. And then, boom, cut into it. And man, oh man, one of the best steaks I've ever cooked at home. I usually do my steaks real simple with just salt and pepper, but I'm going to use these spice rubs. He told me some of the other ones were great for steak too, and I bought a big old steak, so I still have some left to cook. And I'm going to do it again tonight and try a different one. Try the one that's called the Mad Greek. The Mad Greek.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds...
So he told me that one was very good on steak. So that's what I cooked. I cooked a steak, and I cooked it.
That sounds
mom style. It was fantastic. I had it with taters and a iceberg lettuce salad with ranch dressing. I'm a fan of iceberg lettuce. Everybody can hate on me. I like it.
Yeah.
It's crunchy.
You know, I love a good iceberg wedge salad with like blue cheese, bacon crumbles, and just like,
you bet.
A little parm, and you're good.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have it, but they have that at the bar food at the Grove Park Inn in the lobby area.
Yes, they do. They do have a wonderful
wedge there.
They still have it for sure.
Oh,
they do
really
a buttermilk dressing, I think, but it's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Buttermilk, blue cheese, or ranch, all appropriate for the wedge salad in my opinion.
Appropriate.
Yes. And Rick, did you cook something special this week?
Oh boy, did I cook stuff special? Yeah, I've been. I'm still. So in the last week, I harvested like 6 pounds of jalapenos. About almost 6 pounds of shishitos. Nice. I've been pickling. I'm going to pickle a bunch of shishitos tomorrow. I finished all the jalapenos. It was like 14 pints. It was crazy. I'm trying to think what else. I've been making things with the peppers. Tonight after the podcast, I'm going to make sausage and cheese stuffed poblanos, because I got poblanos in the garden too, like my poblano. So I have to I want to shout out. So normally I do my own pepper tomato starts from seed. This year I got all my peppers, at least the jalapenos and the shishitos I got from Sustainabilities over in towards Waynesville. Dustin and Sarah, they're wonderful people. I've never had yields on pepper plants like I've had this year. Like and I fertilized once, maybe twice, but I think only once. And I've just wonderful plants. And so I've saved the seeds, but peppers cross-pollinate, so I don't know if that's going to work out. But I just shout out to them because they are sustainable, agricultural focused group of folks in rural North Carolina. They were impacted heavily by Tropical Storm Fred, and they're still digging out from that, and sending them lots of positive juge, because their stuff is great. And I buy their produce at the market too. So
What are they called again, Rick? Sustainability.
Sustainabilities.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. That's a cute name.
Yeah, they're wonderful, wonderful people. So
All right. Well,
even Dustin does some blacksmithing too. So
okay, that's
near,
your
near
hobby
and
on
dear
the
to my
side.
heart. So
Yeah.
So,
And Davine, did you cook anything special this week?
I did.
What'd you cook?
I made an onion casserole.
Ooh, that sounds
Ooh.
interesting. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so you take about 4 pounds of like Vidalia onions,
Uh-huh.
and you peel them. Now, here's I'm going to tell you some of my cooking tricks. I always soak my onions in hot water, and they peel a lot easier if you do that.
Okay.
So you
So
put them in without any peeling, just in the hot water, and then you peel them.
No. Yeah. If they're unpeeled, you want to do unpeeled onions, because if you'd already peeled them, then you've done the hard work.
Well, there's that whole brown onion skin thing, and then there's
off the
the like
paper.
inner peel. But
Yeah. No, you keep the paper on.
So what happens is it softens up that brown skin, and you can peel it
So you put 'em
off,
in brown.
and it peels perfect. It peels very easily. And then you slice it in rounds, or you can have the onion if it's easier for you to slice it in half rounds, about 1/4 of an inch or up to 1/2 inch thick. And then this is my other handy trick, because it saves hours of caramelizing onions, is you pre-cook the onions in your microwave about 3.5 minutes to get the excess moisture out.
Okay.
And then you can caramelize those onions up in a number 10 Griswold frying pan in about 6 or 7 minutes instead of 45 minutes.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, that's
And
great.
you can do the same with mushrooms. And so then you add some butter to the mixture of onions and some sour cream, and you crush up a sleeve of Ritz crackers, and you put that on the top, and you bake it until it's bubbly, and you take it out, and there you have an onion casserole.
Dang. That sounds
It's
awesome.
great because it's caramelized onions. You do need to season the onions with like salt and a little pepper, but
It sounds great. Sounds pretty
it's
easy to
just
make
an
too.
old Southern food, and it's good, and it's very good.
Good old Southern food.
Yeah. So Stu, growing up, you were in New England. Did you guys have sweet onions?
Vidalia onions? No, never heard of them.
Vidalia or Texas or Bermuda sweet onions?
Bermuda onions, but we just had those raw on salad, so they weren't really sweet. They were more like, dang.
Yeah.
I swear, there's nothing better than caramelized onion. That stuff is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and we would caramelize onions up north too, but just we didn't have, and then they would get sweet, just white onions.
Yeah.
But I never even heard of a Vidalia onion until I moved down south, and now they're my favorite kind of onions are Vidalias. I love Vidalia onion rings when they're real thin and they're real crispy and stuff. Yeah, great stuff.
Amazing.
Well, thanks for sharing that recipe with us, Davine. I might try to replicate that here at Casa de Stew. See if I can pull it off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do where'd you eat? And I'll go first. I ate at a lot of places. I'll try to get through them pretty quickly. So I did eat a couple of things off of the Feta Flav food truck. He brought me Chef Alex brought me some of his tzatziki and some of his hummus. And it was a garlic and black sesame hummus, and it was delicious. It was very thick and almost like a paste. And he does everything like super traditional Greek style. Half of his family actually lives in Greece. So he learned how to cook from his grandmother over there and stuff. So some people might be like, well, that's not the way that I think of hummus or whatever. And it's like, well, it's because it's actually more authentic than what you might be used to, or it's a family recipe rather than just like a hippie recipe. And the tzatziki was made with sour cream. Now, most of us think that tzatziki is made with yogurt, but it's made with both, and sometimes made with a combination. But this was all sour cream, and it is delicious. Both of them are really good. They're not just approved by me, but also approved by my girlfriend, Dawn, who loved them. And she's a lot more discerning than I am. Let me put it that way. Very discerning palate. So just the two little condiment things that Chef Alex brought me were great. I can't wait to eat off of his food truck. I know him from Davine. He was the chef at the Greek restaurant inside the S&W Cafe. That's how.
That's on my. I just wrote that question down.
Yes.
Was
so
that him?
Yes. So he has gyros, and he tries to do everything traditional. He told me he kind of has shocked himself by offering a mushroom gyro for vegetarians, and he makes them with baby bell portobello mushrooms. And he's like, I can't believe I'm doing it, but I'm selling like 30 pounds of these mushrooms every week. People love it. Ruh-roh, you guys just both disappeared.
Well, I'm still here in mine. Is
don't.
Rick still there?
Oh, now you're back.
I see Rick.
Okay, now I see both of you. You both disappeared.
Okay, so what time is it?
It's 5:51. 21 minutes in. Yeah. So I guess his vegetarian portobello gyro is very popular, and I want to try it for myself, as well as all of his lamb dishes. Now he made at the S&W restaurant. He made the best souvlaki I've ever had. It was something else. I loved it. So, anyways, I ate those things, and then I went to the Session Cafe at the Citizen Vinyl inside the old Asheville Citizen Times building, which, man, if people haven't been to this new Citizen Vinyl Session Cafe situation, you got to go check it out. Like, it's an amazing building, amazing, mosaic type of thing on the floor that has all the different counties, which of course have been redrawn and stuff, since not all of them, but some of them are not part of our district anymore. And just a beautiful space.
Gerrymandering.
There we go. We are victims of it here in North Carolina. That's why we end up with unpopular people representing us. The food there is being handled by a couple of great chefs, Chef Susanna from Owl Bakery, Susanna Gephardt, and Chef Graham House, formerly of Sovereign Remedies. And so the food there is really good. I got a brisket and cabbage hand pie, like a little one like that. It was really good. And they have a full cocktail bar, and one of our favorite cocktail makers is working there. His name is Quinn, and Quinn makes a wonderful, wonderful drink. Don had a wonderful drink. I had a non-alcoholic cocktail that was on the menu, and it was fantastic. And so high recommends for that. Great atmosphere, great food, and great drinks. And that's at Session Cafe and Citizen Vinyl. And then we got some Grata pizza to eat at home. Our friend Tema ordered it, and we went over her house to eat, and it was really good. I'd never had Grata pizza before, but it was really good. And I don't know anything about Grata pizza except for these two pies I ate. One was like a wild mushroom pie. It was fantastic. And they're like hand-thrown, misshapen pizzas, like not like a –
they're
like
great looking
artsy.
pizzas.
Artistic.
Kind of rustic
media.
pizzas.
Yeah. So you've both had Grata?
I haven't had them, but I follow them and I lust after them.
Okay, well, satisfy your lusts and go ahead and get one of these pizzas. I recommend the wild mushroom and the I can't remember what the other one was now. It's like a prosciutto or something like that pizza. It's very good.
They do very like farmer friendly, kind of like farm food. Yeah,
they do. Yeah. And then, as I said, I ate at Neng Junior's, and that was at the Double Crown, which is a bar over there on Haywood Ave. That's right next to Battle Cat Cafe and Tiger Bay. And so you can get your food at Tiger Bay and hang out at the bar, if there's not a pop-up. And a very, very cool, real old school Asheville kind of a situation with those three businesses in one place. Very popular with the locals. And then I got some food and some smoke from a place called Vapor World, Asheville. And I smoked some of the smoke, and it was great. It's this legal Delta 8 stuff. It's also a THC component of marijuana. It's not illegal. They extract it from hemp, and then they can put it on and or they extract. I'm not sure where they extract it from actually, but they extract it and then they put it on stuff, and you either eat it or you smoke it, and it's either from hemp or from marijuana. I'm
Snoop
not
Dogg.
sure which. He'll know.
There's like a farm of Snoop Dogs. They're like Matrix, and they're like extracting CBD / THC.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Delta 8 and THC from things and then putting them in
Wow.
other things. So I got some buds that were infused. They were hemp buds, that much I know, that were infused with the Delta 8, and then they were sprinkled with CBD keef, which is this powdery stuff that comes off of weed when you break it up. And I can just tell you straight up, got me high. I don't know what to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I could not discern the difference between this totally legal Delta 8 bud and what I remember from the 80s when I used to smoke the marijuana.
Well, you know what they say: where there's a market, there's a way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and who knows how long this Delta 8 will be. It'll probably be made illegal, and then THC will be made legal, and who knows? It's a wild game out there. But I can tell you that the herb got me high. It's a mellower high. It doesn't last as long, and that's part of the appeal for some people. Because regular weed, and let me tell you, I was kidding about the 80s being the last time I smoked weed. Regular weed gets you so high you'd be in outer space, and it's very potent these days. It ain't like what I used to smoke in the 80s.
No, God.
And I love it, but I don't mind being in outer space. Like, that's where I want to be. But a lot of people don't want to be that high, so they want to smoke this Delta 8. It's more mellow. It's like somebody described it as light beer, but from what I remember, light beer has the exact same amount of alcohol, just less calories. So I guess it's not an apt comparison. But they also gave me some edibles, and those were delicious, man. Like, they gave me these little chocolates that were so good, like high quality chocolate. I put them to the test. Like, good chocolate should have a sheen on it. So you hold it up to the light, you see the sheen. Good chocolate, when you snap it, it should be an audible snap, and it should be a straight line. It did both of those things. And good chocolate, when you pop it in your mouth, it should immediately make your whole mouth taste like chocolate. And these did all of that. And they're manufactured by some local chocolatier. I'm not sure who. But this is a local company called Vapor World.
All right.
Vapor World Asheville. And I've got some more edibles that I'll be testing out for them in the future. And I just want to say that this is a facet of my food reviewing that other people in town can send me their edibles and whatnot, and I'll check those out too. As long as it's legal, I'll check it out. And when everything's legal, I'll check it all out. All right, I ain't even halfway done my list. Sorry about that, everybody. But I also went to Vivian, which is one of the best restaurants in town. I think it's going to be a James Beard winner. I think it's going to be featured in Food and Wine. I think it's going to be rated one of the best restaurants in the country. And we just sat at the bar and had some light bites and cocktails. But we got to go back to check out the whole new menu. If you follow them on Instagram and Facebook, you'll be blown away by the pictures. And the food is just as tasty, if not more tasty than it looks. So high recommends for Vivian in the River Arts District. I also I ordered food through Kickback, AVL, and I got Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack, and I got the No Chick vegetarian hot chicken sandwich. And I just wanted to try their vegetarian chicken. It's called No Chick, and it's made out of this product called Quorn. Have either of you heard of Quorn? It's Quorn. And Davine says, no, she has not. And it's not a common product. If you've never been a vegetarian who wants to eat fake meat, you've never even heard of Quorn. But Rick, you have heard of it? Have you tried it?
I have. Negatory, Ghost Rider.
I used to eat it when I was vegetarian. It's delicious, and it's got a texture very much like chicken. It's made out of some sort of fungus. I'm not even kidding. And it was developed during World War II when Great Britain was having food shortages, and they didn't know how long that was going to last. So they put all their scientists to work on developing this fake protein. And then they did it, and then they had it, and they were like, well, we should market this stuff. And so in Britain,
this is actually better than 98% of all British food.
It tastes just like everything else. And it's quite good, actually. And you can bread it and make it into cutlets. And it's very much like processed chicken is the texture. So the Rockies sandwich, I loved it. I thought it was great. I like corn. I ain't afraid to admit. And I loved it. And I recommend it for vegetarians, especially if your friends are like, I want Rockies. And you're like, I'm a vegetarian. You can get this corn sandwich and it'll meet your requirements and it'll be delicious. And you can order it as
And
hot
you don't have
as
to
you
get
want.
rid of that friend.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to. You can still hang out with your vegetarian friends thanks to corn. It's part of why it was developed. Oh, you're wearing a Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack T-shirt right now. There's some
Made of
product
corn.
placement, ladies and gentlemen. Rocky's, make the checks payable to Rick Crillia. And let's see, I'm almost done. I got them ribs from Doc Brown, and those David Brown wrote to me this morning, first thing in the morning. He's like, I want to bring you something. And I was like, oh, all half asleep. Yes. And he brought me a small rack of ribs, 4 ribs, and he did them for me Memphis dry rub style, which was new to me and different than what I expected. So he prepared them for me right on the porch. People can check out my pictures on Facebook that show him doing this thing. But the ribs were just prepared naked or plain, as he calls them on his menu. And then he had a little thing of vinegar, and he rubbed that all over these ribs. And they were hot. They were warm. And then he took out this dry spice rub, very heavy red chili powder, heavy spice rub, house-made with other sage and other things in it. And he just started throwing that on there and rubbing it on. And then he took out a very sharp knife and cut them up, and ta-da. And I was like, David, I'm naive. I don't know. Am I supposed to now put these in the oven and cook them or just eat them like this? And he said, no, you just eat them like that. And so I did, and boy, howdy, were they ever F-bomb delicious. They were like some of the best ribs, and they were very fatty. So if you don't like fatty stuff, stay away from these ribs, but they were fantastically delicious. And this dry rub style, which was actually quite messy and not even close to being dry, was effing-licious. So there, I dropped 2 fake F-bombs during that review. That's how much I liked these ribs. So, and then the last thing on my list, and then Rick, I'll let you take it away, was I got some pupusas from not a restaurant, but from a home cook. And I don't know what really to do with a home cook recommendation because people can't get these. But they're a person who makes these. Her name is Ruth Blanco, and she makes them whenever the Latin community here in Asheville needs help with something. So some of the Latin community was affected very adversely by the flooding. And so her and her crew were making hundreds and hundreds of these pupusas in her kitchen. And my friend Scott Fowler is a guy who helps out the Latin community with his truck and stuff like that when they need his help. And he knows about these pupusas. So he called me on the phone. He was like, you're getting in my truck at 9 a.m. in the morning, and you're coming with me to this lady's house. And if we're lucky, she'll let us sit there and eat some pupusas in her kitchen. And he's like, I already bought you 20 of them. And I was like, dang, all right. And so we did that, and we went to her house, and very nice lady let us sit in her kitchen, chow down hot off the griddle, burnt cheese around the edges, everything. Like, these pupusas were fantastic. So, and they were being sold for charity through an organization called Asheville en Español. And so I think that people should follow Asheville en Español and keep an eye out for when there's a fundraiser or some other festival or whatever, and these pupusas will be available then. They came with a house-made slaw that was delicious and a house-made salsa that was delicious. So there you go. That's what I ate, where I got takeout from, and all of that this week. Phew, I made it. How much time do we have, Rick? Oh, plenty of time. Oh, I did that like I was speed reading.
You ate at a lot of places, man. That's
man,
crazy.
It was a good week for me. Like, people bringing me food and bringing me to food and stuff like that. Because you guys know, the audience, some of the audience knows, but not everybody knows. I don't drive a car. I walk everywhere I go. So people want me to go try some food out in Candler. they better bring me there or bring it to me. I mean, I'm not saying they better, but if they want me to try it, it's helpful. It's helpful if I have access to it. And, I can get a ride out to Candler, but it's like something I would have to arrange. And so that's this week it was great. People were really doing that for me. So, all right, Rick, did you go out to eat anywhere? I know that you usually get delivery. Was Del Vecchio's your delivery jam this week?
Well, it was the most recent, but we've done, my go-to has become Thai Pearl. And so
Thai Pearl.
we had Thai Pearl twice in the last week. I love Thai food. I love Thai Pearl. Like, it's as good as any Thai food as I ever had. And so, yeah. So we did that, and still eat.
What's your favorite dish at Thai Pearl?
Oh, if I'm going stir fry, I like the I think it's the pad pak stir fry. It's like Japanese eggplant, shrimp, and pork, and
Nice.
then some other veggies, and then I get it. It's double the normal spice level, and I get it still like 4 stars out of 5. So,
do you get your food Thai hot when you order from there, or hot?
I did the first time.
I think
And that's when I was like, this is a real Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
So
I think
because
there's a certain percentage of Ashevilleans that have done that.
Yeah. I lived 16 years in the Northwest. Thai food is probably the biggest food palette out there. And I got to where I could eat Thai hot out there, except for a couple places. And Thai Pearl here is now one of those places.
Yeah.
So I can do Thai hot at Little B. I can do it at a couple other places, but not at Thai Pearl. Like
Chef May, keeping it real.
Chef May, it's like she's bringing the royal kitchen home.
She cooked for the royal family in Thailand.
But anyway, so yeah, it's fantastic. So we had that, and then I just finished my, as you both have seen through our Facebook, I've just finished my tomato and pepper harvests in the last week. And so tonight I'm cooking a poblano with stuffed with sausage and cheese. After this, that's going to be good. But I've been doing a lot of BLTs with my bacon and tomatoes, and yeah. So.
All right. And Davine, did you go out to eat this week?
Well, so my go-to place has become the Well-Bred Bakery in the Grove Arcade, because it's near the station and I can just pop in there.
Yes.
Well, here's what I got. I got it to go. They have an excellent peanut butter pie.
Okay. I have not had their peanut butter pie. Please describe it for us.
Well, it's about 3 inches thick, or about 2.5 inches thick. So it's got a lot of peanut butter substance there. It's on like a dark, like an Oreo crust. And then it's got some chocolate dribbles on the top. And it's very similar to the chocolate pie that they used to have at City Bakery before the pandemic hit. And that pie was just excellent. And I've been hankering for that pie for about 6 months. So I was in City Bakery the other day, and they're still limited because of the employee situation, I think.
Yeah,
because they didn't have their seeded baguette, which is an excellent baguette at City Bakery.
It is.
Nor they didn't have any desserts in their case.
Oh no.
They had cookies, but none of their other more, like pies and cakes and that sort of thing. So at your mention a few weeks ago about Well-Bred opening up at City Bakery.
At the Grove Arcade.
At the Grove Arcade. Sorry. Yeah. So
That's
thank
okay.
you for the correction.
Sure.
So I go there for quiche and snacks. And I look in the case, and by golly, there's some peanut butter pie, and it looks delicious. And it is. So I can recommend their peanut butter pie.
And you said it has like a dark Oreo crust, like
Kind of the crust is like a dark Oreo, crushed Oreo cookie. It's like a almost black chocolate crust on it.
Is that traditional for peanut butter pie?
I don't know, but it's good.
Good answer. Because you know what else I didn't grow up eating up in New England? Peanut butter pie. There's not a thing up there. So I've had very limited experiences, and I've had some. I'm glad you said it was about 3 inches thick, because I've had some peanut butter pies that are like real sort of dense and condensed, and I'm just like, this is not very satisfying. And they can be cloyingly sweet sometimes.
It's not too sweet.
Okay.
It's not too sweet. It's very peanut buttery.
I love the sounds of that. A good peanut butter pie is like awesome.
You're gonna like it.
I'll go check it out. Now they're at the Well Bread Bakery. They make one of my favorite sandwiches in town. Their chicken salad on croissant. And I feel like I've said this before, but to me it's very reminds me of being a kid in the 1990s. It's a very 1990s sandwich. It's got like grapes in the chicken salad and sprouts, I think, on it, and it's just on a croissant, which is, I remember, like, I grew up eating normal sandwiches like a normal human being, and then one day I was introduced to the idea of a croissant sandwich in the 90s, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing. And in my opinion, chicken salad is one of the best things on a croissant, and they make really good croissants at Well Bread.
Good to know. I'm going to try it.
Okay.
I love chicken salad on croissants, and I love ham and Gruyere.
Oh yeah, that's and I think they do a ham and Gruyere croissant.
There's actually a name for that combo, the three of them, and I don't know what it is, but it's like so good. So.
Sometimes they put a little bit of jelly on there, and if you don't put too much, it's really good. Like a little sweet jelly on the ham and Gruyere.
You can put some in a pepper jelly that Chef Ian does at Griff's.
Oh yeah, Griff's. I recommended Griff's to somebody who was asking for a date night restaurant with parking.
Oh, perfect.
And I was like,
perfect.
Griff's, and they didn't care.
We're going there Friday, I think, tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
So because we were going to go there Tuesday, but they were closed and had to wait till now. But yeah, it's my celebratory dinner for the new job. So.
Oh yeah, that's a great place to celebrate.
Yeah.
So I had this in my notes, and I forgot to mention it, that the steak that I cooked with the herb rub from Chef Alex, he called that a Montreal style steak. And I said, oh, is that like herbs de Provence? And he didn't quite answer my question. He just said it's Montreal style. And I wasn't sure what that meant. Have you guys ever heard that there's a style of steak called Montreal style?
No, but I bet you Magic Google will tell us.
That probably will. But Rick is almost better than Magic Google. What you got for us, Rick?
I've heard of it, and if I'm not mistaken, it's a pretty traditional steak rub, except it has a big palette of citrus, either lemon or orange, one of the two, maybe both. I don't know, but that's that's my memory, my old man memory.
Old man memory. Well, we all know that the older your memory gets, the better it gets. So I'm looking on Google right now. It says that it is coarse salt with black and red pepper, garlic, onion, sunflower oil, paprika, etc.
And no citrus. Okay. So old man memory did not stand up.
But you know what? My old man memory just kicked in, because he did say it was great with lemon squeezed on it, which I had never heard of on a steak, and I forgot to do it.
That's why I think I think Montreal steak is like there's a citrus component to it, but I can't remember exactly.
I'm pretty sure he did tell me to squeeze a lemon on this steak, which I had never done before. So just wanted to mention that Montreal style rub is quite good. Okay, we have a little bit of food news. We have good news and bad news. What do you guys want to do first?
Get the bad out of the way.
I agree. So, Rick, you sent me this story. Do you want to report the story?
Yeah. So, a couple of weeks ago, we had a pretty devastating flooding event here in Western North Carolina. Tropical Storm Fred came up, and I think in a less than a 48-hour period, we got 11 inches of rain in our county, and the county adjacent to us got a little more, Haywood County, and they really suffered. But one of our jewels in the food scene here is Sunburst Trout Farms, and they are based out of the Waynesville area, which is in Haywood County to the west, and they have 3 large farm ponds, and they are, before people think, oh, trout farm ponds, bad, they are sustainable trout farm ponds, and so they are actually, in terms of like carbon footprint and ecological footprint, they're great.
Yes.
They keep their fish clean. It's good stuff, and
they're part
amazing
of our
trout.
farm to table scene.
They're a huge part of our farm to table scene.
Yes.
And 60% of their customer bases are restaurants in the region.
Yes.
And they lost one of their farm ponds in the Crusoe community, which was the hardest hit in Haywood County.
Yep.
And they're still waiting on FEMA intervention. FEMA's dragging their heels on this, but it's impacting larger consumers like Karate and some other folks. Like they're having to cut their fish supply by like 50%. So, but hopefully they're going to see some relief soon. And you had asked me privately if there's GoFundMe opportunities. I haven't seen one yet, but I will keep my eyes open for that. So they are, I have their trout in my fridge right now. So it's wonderful trout.
There's people all over this city that have some of their smoked trout or trout dip in their fridge right now.
Exactly.
And when I first moved to this town, you can't help but notice that there's trout on every dang menu in the whole city. And it's because we're up here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. So we don't have, and we're obsessed with local products, local produce, local meats. And so this is our only local fish supply is from Sunburst Trout Farm.
And they're really great people as far as, a farming footprint in the world. So
family owned. They started in the 1950s as a farm that would stock fishing ponds at hunting lodges. And it wasn't until the matriarch or the patriarch of the family retired and took it on just as his own retirement project to try to build the business into a business that would supply restaurants as well. And so that's a great sort of arc for this business. And they'll be around. They're gonna come through. They said there'd be about a 4-month gap in product. And that's going to be a tough 4 months for the city of Asheville. It's going to be a boon to places that bring fish up from the coast because Karate, for example, said that they would replace some of the fish with ocean fish on the menu.
Ocean fish and South Carolina trout. And I think they lost something like 70,000 pounds of fish.
Yes,
and
that's what they said.
Basically, if you know anything about trout, that's about 70,000 trout. So
is that right? Okay.
Yeah, they're not big fish. So,
well, I can't help but think that the soil is going to be very fertile around the fish farm
wherever they ended up,
years to come. Wherever those fish ended up going, there's going to be some fertile soil there.
So.
And some of the fish may have actually made it into rivers and other.
Yeah, they may actually be on a whole new. They may have gone off to join the trout circus.
That's right. Right. They ran away from home.
In the same topic vein, Saturnia Farms, which is a ornamental non-food farm in that same county, they've had a couple of weekends of a lot of volunteers helping them bounce back, and they're back on their feet a little bit, which is great. They're a wonderful resource for Western North Carolina native plants.
Nice.
If you're interested in any kind of native planting, they're great. So.
Saturnia Farms?
Saturnia Farms.
Okay. Great, because we talked about them last week or the week before that they were so horribly affected by these.
They were hit very hard.
So I know that the eaters in Asheville, we love our trout. We love Sunburst Trout Farms. And so I'm just saying to people, as usual, be patient with the restaurants if they run out. Be thankful for what we've got. and try to support Sunburst trout farms if you can in any way that you can. And the article I read, they seemed pretty hopeful that they'd get their FEMA money. Like the county was probably going to help them recover, and then the county would get the money from FEMA. Just those wheels of bureaucracy, they churn pretty slowly, and the bigger the wheels, the slower the turn. But we wish them the best, Sunburst Trout Farms. And now let's move on to the good news. We got a couple of anniversaries, and we got a big festival going on. So the big festival is the Goombay Festival. It's going to happen. It's the 40th Goombay. I couldn't believe 40 years of Goombay. That's a long time. And so Goombay is a celebration of African American, African, and Caribbean culture here in Asheville. And it's a 3-day festival. Starts tomorrow, Friday the 5th. Is that what tomorrow is? Or the 4th? So let me look. The computer knows.
Tomorrow's the 3rd.
Tomorrow's the 3rd. Look at me. I don't know anything. So from September, I seriously don't know what planet I'm on half the time. So it starts tomorrow, Friday.
Davine looking off to the right.
Yeah, Davine shaking her head. She's like, I'm
It's
so
major
glad he's
eye
not
roll
my
here.
kid. Yeah.
Because I
For
know,
those of you
I know
listening
what
on the
day it is all
radio.
I know what day it is all the time.
I
I
should
never
just
have
count
to
on you.
consult my computer clock or day or calendar. No.
Yeah, I have to use a calculator to do basic math. Let me tell you that much right now. Time is made out of numbers, and numbers have perplexed me my whole life.
Well, and the thing is, if you're isolating again, which I'm doing a lot of, days go by and you just can't keep track of it.
No.
Who can keep track?
It's like
I'm blaming it on
Tuesday,
COVID.
Saturday,
Is it what
Tuesday,
day is it?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it the Middle Ages? Is it the Roman era?
Yeah.
Are we flying
No
in
one
outer
expects
space?
the
What's going
Spanish
on?
Inquisition.
Yeah, that's right.
Are the Crusades happening again?
Yeah, anything.
I think they are,
this
actually.
time, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Texas.
The Texas Inquisition. Yeah.
Yeah, but Goombay Festival is a huge celebration with a ton of music, and the food is like some of the best festival food of the year. It's right downtown in Pack Square and in the Block neighborhood, and the YMI building is one of the organizing forces behind it. And people can look it up online, Goombay, Goombay. And it's free. You don't need tickets. Just show up, start eating, start enjoying. It's one of Asheville's, I would say, it might be the oldest festival. I would have to look that up. At 40 years old, that could be. It's 43.
Yeah, now that Belcher is gone.
Now that Belcher is gone.
I'll bet you it is.
43 years of Goombay. That's incredible. And so let's see. We've got, oh wait, no, not 43 years, 40 years of Goombay, but 43 years of the Hop ice cream parlor. I was
what
shocked.
the heck?
I was shocked. They're celebrating their
That's a lot of ice
43rd
cream.
Anniversary.
Wow.
There's a lot of ice cream. I would
Dude,
love to see
their
some
ice
math
cream
on
is
that.
so freaking good.
It's so
Like,
good.
Like even the stuff you're like, I would never eat that. If somebody gave you a sample, you'd be like, that's good.
Let me just say the words, they need to be said, blueberry kale ice cream.
Yes.
Like that's one of their standard
Blueberry
flavors.
kale.
And it's so good.
Their butter pecan is a thing that should be revered like the ancient ones.
And the current owners, who are two very nice people named Greg and Ashley, they have owned it for 13 years. And so it's got a long history in Asheville. And I always tell the story about how when I first got to Asheville and I didn't know anybody, I lived very close to the Hop, and I would get on my bike, ride my little bikey down to the Hop, and I'd go through the window that was for the cars, and I would get my ice cream and I would eat it. And I went there so often, and I was starting to put on some weight, and I decided to skip a few days, and I skipped like 3 days. 3 days I didn't go to the Hop. And when I went back, they were like, we were wondering where you were. And I was like, oh, man, it's been 3 days. Come on. But I love their.
Wait, which location is this? Because I've only been to the West Asheville one.
Where YOLO is now. You know where YOLO is on Merriman Ave? You
On
know where
Merriman. Okay,
Luella's
yeah.
Luella's
Yes,
barbecue?
Yeah,
and then
I
YOLO.
know where it is. Yep.
So that was the hop when I first moved
That
to
was the
town.
original. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I'll give a shout out to YOLO. Like, I'm not a hater. YOLO is awesome. I love being the master of my own domain when I go into YOLO, because it's the kind of place where you grab a cup of a certain size, being giant. They start with giant and then they get bigger from there. And you squeeze frozen yogurt
It's like
into them.
yogurt,
and
right?
Yeah, froyo. And it's really good. Like, oh my God, it's so good. I'm a sucker for soft serve, and I like soft serve froyo. So shout out to YOLO in the midst of this hop anniversary shout out. Yeah.
We have
I love
layers of
all frozen
sophistication on this podcast, everyone.
treats. That's right. And
Layers of appreciation and sophistication.
And I'll just shout out Witt's Frozen Custard right up the street, man. There's this place called Witt's, Whitts. I'm not sure if the H is in there or not. And they're a franchise, but they're not like a giant one. And they're the only one in this area that I know of. And it's frozen custard. And dang, if you thought ice cream was decadent, try custard. It's like, whoa. So there we go. That was our frozen treats segment of our show. And then there's another anniversary.
Summer.
What's that?
Now that we're ending summer.
Yeah, summer hopefully coming to a close. It's been super hot lately. One last thing to mention is so one of our oldest places, the Hop, celebrating their anniversary. One of our newest places, the Grind Asheville, the new cafe down on
coming up there 1 year.
1 year anniversary for them, and that's Bruce
They're
Waller.
Almost at 2,000 guests almost. So
what's that?
He posted something today like, come be our 10,000th customer.
That's correct.
So that's a lot of people in a year.
It is. They've served 9,000 cups of coffee. That's what they said.
That's amazing.
Or 9,000 plus, like 9,600 and something. So they're hoping to hit that 10,000th mark by the 25th of this month, which is their anniversary. So
let's drink a lot of coffee.
Go help them out. And they're having a raffle and stuff to celebrate. Bruce Waller, Jr., who has been a guest on the show, and I'm trying to get him back. It's just been scheduling conflicts. He's organizing this. He's the manager over there at Grind. And so I want everybody to go get a cup of coffee and help them break that 10,000 mark. And let's see. That's the end of the written show. I just have a wrap-up written after that. Wrap-up. So we've got about 2.5 minutes, which in wrap-up can seem like an eternity.
This may be a record for us. I don't know that we've ever finished with like seconds to spare.
Can I put the rest of these minutes on a gift certificate to use on another show? Because I'm always going overtime.
Yeah. Good on us. We're like getting good at this now.
Yeah.
We've only done it for like 5,000 years.
Yeah. This is our six millionth episode.
Yeah.
Well, just while we're wrapping up. So next time we do a show next week, I've got a story about going to Paul Prudhomme's restaurant in New Orleans for days on end. So I want to tell you about that when they miss.
All right. Let's swap like famous food restaurant stories next week. I've eaten at a couple of Michelin rated restaurants where we just plunked like whole paychecks to eat dinner,
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, it was quite an experience, though.
Fancy restaurant talk or famous restaurant talk.
Let's do it next week.
Yeah.
And let me just tell everybody that the Food Pod is coming along very nicely. And if they want to check it out, it's right where the Boost Mobile is on Patton Ave. And as you drive up and down Patton, I-26 and I-240, you can look over there and see the progress.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Full report next week.
Yeah. I'll do a bigger report next week because I'm going to go visit the site and look. There's fire pits being installed right now, and giant boulders have been dropped off and stuff. So it's coming right along, everybody. Stay tuned.
All right. So we can have a video if you take it. We can have a video clip.
I'll do that. I'll shoot a video from the Food Pod site. Good thinking. Yeah. Thanks, Davine. Yeah. All righty, you guys. Well, thank you for joining me. This was a great show, in my opinion. I love it when we spend a lot of time talking about food on the food show.
Yeah, amazing.
It's my favorite. And everybody can follow me on Facebook, Stu Helm Food Fan, on Facebook and Instagram, and my website, StuHelmFoodFan.com. Follow me on Ash Vegas as well, ashvegas.com. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night, everybody.